This is a question that I get for someone that doesn't really know me that well and just sees me online possibly or just kind of got introduced. But what's the deal with Duce's Wild and Sweet Baby Ray's? So a lot of our channels are called Sweet Baby Ray's Catering, but then we're always using the Duce's Wild products. And, I can understand if you don't know, it seems kind of weird. And this is something from a marketing perspective we've struggled with for years. But the deal is, and I'll try to keep this as brief as possible, but I think it's worth talking about. So my family, my dad and my uncle started Sweet Baby Ray's. My dad's the chef that created the sauce, and then my uncle, with his business partner, marketed the sauce, sold the sauce, and really grew the business. So they started back in the early 80s. My dad was a chef by training. My uncle asked my dad to come up with a barbecue sauce to enter into the Mike Ryko Rib Fest, and he did that using his own ideas. He talked to some of his other chef buddies, and he came up with the sauce to fit the name Sweet Baby Ray's. And this is a great part of the story is my uncle got the name growing up on the west side of Chicago. They called my dad Ray because our last name is Raymond. They called his little brother Baby Ray. And my Uncle Dave would play basketball on the west side, and when he'd hit that baseline jump shot, they say, "That's Sweet Baby Ray." And so the sauce was actually made for the name Sweet Baby Ray's. And, the rest, I get goosebumps every time I tell that story because as we tell the story, the rest we say is history. I mean, they really did amazing things with the sauce on early days back in the 80s and 90s, really grassroots. Didn't understand the business and really had to learn on the fly as they grew. Huge respect to Uncle Dave, my dad, Mike O'Brien, and everybody involved in the early days of Sweet Baby Ray's because it's really the American dream story coming true. I mean, it blows my mind how they did that pre-internet, working with fax machines and knocking on doors. And it's just, like I said, it blows my mind. So a huge respect to those guys. And Sweet Baby Ray's today is the best-selling barbecue sauce in retail history. I mean, we don't own the sauce brand anymore, but gives us extreme pride. Something that, myself and my uncle talk about all the time is just, it's such an amazing thing to be associated with that brand. And if my dad was still around, I know he'd be looking down, just smiling, just seeing that brand grow. And Ken's, who bought Sweet Baby Ray's from our family, has just done nothing but great things with it. Their marketing. And what's funny to me is they run some of the in-store promotions the same as Uncle Dave set up 30 years ago and still works today. And the price point really hasn't changed that much, which in today with all the inflation and everything is just mind-blowing. But they've really done amazing things. Couldn't be more proud to be associated with that brand. So when we sold Sweet Baby Ray's to Ken's Foods, we retained the rights to use the name for up to 4 restaurants in Illinois and Wisconsin. And as I talk about it, that's what we're doing today. We started the little restaurant in Wooddale, Illinois in 2005 and pretty much have slowly grown ever since. So we have the small restaurant. We have a catering business. At one point, we had up to 3 restaurants. COVID killed one. Bad partnership killed the other one, to make a long story short. But we still have the original. And then what we really focus on is the catering business. We've done really good growing the Sweet Baby Ray's brand. We also have a high-end catering brand called True Cuisine, where we do a ton of wedding and corporate events with. And then we have Duce's Wild. So Duce's Wild pretty much came out from the early days of the restaurant. We stumbled upon competition barbecue. Before then, didn't know anything about it. Learned about the KCBS. I basically fell in love with it from the get-go. We're competitive by nature, myself and my uncle, and when we found out about competitive barbecue, it was like, a match made in heaven. And it was really interesting to me at the time when I was still drinking and partying and all that stuff, is like, okay, I get to cook barbecue, drink beer, be competitive, and win awards and prizes and money and everything. So it was just like, it was too good. It was amazing. We did that for about 10 years, ended up winning over 95 local, regional, and national awards. The last year we did it, we only competed 5 times, but ended up winning 2 RGCs. And in those, with teams in the country that only competed 5 times, we were the top team in the country that year. And I know if I put more time into it, I would have continued to have success. But as I continue to grow, my family continued to grow, it just became too time consuming for me. So right now we're not doing any competitions. Still love it, still talk about it. And one day, as my family and my kids get a little bit older and they don't need me on the weekends as much, I could see myself getting back to it. But for right now, I'm focused on the business, growing the catering brand, and then Deuce's Wild, the sauces and rubs brand. So that's where we're at today, is we have the Sweet Baby Ray's Catering and Restaurant, and we named our pages after that. And as we continue to grow, you'll see more and more about Deuce's Wild. Deuce's Wild is really just getting off the ground. We had a great year this year, kind of switched our website to a Shopify site, saw some increases there, and plan to get bigger into retail. But for right now, what we need to do to make that happen in a big way is partner with a co-packer to really get the price point aligned to what the retail market will bear. And that's the big next step. So Uncle Dave, thank God for him. He knows a ton about the retail space, so he's going to help me get in that. But 2025 is all about going to be growing online and seeing what we can do with the brand. We've had great success on the social media and the educational barbecue content, and we want to try to leverage that to kind of move that brand forward. So that's the deal with Sweet Baby Ray's and Deuce's Wild. My family started Sweet Baby Ray's, I started Deuce's Wild, and I'm still running with both of them right now, and a lot to come in the future for Deuce's Wild and Sweet Baby Ray's. Is we're going to use it as long as we have the rights to, because it's such a powerful brand. So